Okay, we are deep frying a prime rib for New Year's Eve. It's December 30th, so we're going to do this tomorrow. I'm preparing the prime rib, and I'm just going to give you a little overview of what I've done. We've got a marinade that we're going to inject into the prime rib meat, and we also have a dry rub. Now the marinade, to marinate meat, really all you need is oil, acid, and flavor. The acid helps to tenderize the meat a little bit, so what I went with this time is a little olive oil, and then for the acid I used mostly grapefruits and a little bit of lemon juice, and to add flavor I gave it some honey, some Worcestershire sauce, and some Louisiana hot sauce. Now I kind of did it on the fly, so I don't know what the measurements are. It's going to vary for your prime rib roast depending on how big you want to do it. But on to the dry rub. I used salt and pepper, mostly some of this Creole seasoning here, and some of this Mrs. Dash Caribbean citrus, and some garlic powder. Now, I don't know where you get your prime rib, but for me, I like to go to the local meat market, Roseville Meat, and they do what's called a cradled meat. You can get it bone in or bone out. When they cradle it, they cut the bone off, and then they tie it back to it so that you can put it in the roast and cook the bone. We're just going to cut it off so we can dry rub the boneless part, because we don't really need the meat. I might grill the bones for the dogs, but I'm not sure. So we're just going to cut the cradled prime rib rope off. Take those off. And we're feeding about 10 people. They say you want about one rib will feed 2 people, so about 10 people. We've got 5 ribs here, and we'll just set those over here for now. And this is our prime rib roast. Now first I'm going to inject it, and then I'm going to dry rub it, and I'm going to put it in the fridge, and tomorrow we're going to deep fry it. Here, wash my hands real quick. Okay. Now most people know that, you can deep fry a turkey, but you can pretty much deep fry anything you want. The trick to deep frying is the injection. Some people brine it, some people don't. This is your standard ordinary meat injector. You can find it in the meat aisle, usually hanging up somewhere where the meat is at your grocery store. If you can't find it, just ask. They should be able to tell you. So we're going to load this bad boy up, get it in the meat, pump it up. Oh, we got some shoot off here. This is going to happen. We're making a mess on the table. But we kind of just want to make sure that we're loading the meat up. Actually, I'm going to get this off of this cutting board because my girlfriend's going to be pissed when she finds out I'm getting her tablecloth all messy. And we're just going to do it in the pan. Get this out of here. A little damage control. Okay. And back to injecting. Now when you inject a turkey to deep fry, they tell you to rub it in. Kind of massage the meat so that it seeps in. I'm not too worried about that with a steak. It's pretty porous, marbled very well. I think it's about a 12 or maybe 13 pound prime rib. I can see the juices flowing out some of the grizzled parts where there's actually fat and the meat is separated, but that's okay. Give it a little time to soak. You can kind of see the meat puffing up a little bit. If you want to press down to make sure it gets in there, you can do that, but like I said, for the beef, it's not necessarily as important. And we're just going to keep injecting this thing to get it full of flavor. Kind of see it puffing up there, but it's seeping out as well. Yep. I don't know if you can see that, but it's flowing out the sides. Oh, we got a little clog up. The biggest thing to remember when you're deep frying anything is to make sure that the meat you're frying is fully thawed. That's how things cause bubble up and overflow. And you really don't want that. You'll burn your house down or get your grass on fire. I think we're almost good here. Some people prefer to bake or grill because you can get an au jus from the prime rib. And everybody I told that I was deep frying kind of gave me a funny look, like, what, are you deep frying a prime rib? That's weird, but they'd never done it before. Everybody I heard from that had actually done it said it was wonderful. I don't really see how it's any different than cooking in an oven. You know, 360 degrees in hot oil or 360 degrees in an oven or a grill. There's no difference. I think we got pretty much all of it now. Some of the air pockets. Making more of a mess. See, a lot of the juice is already draining, but that's okay. We still have some inside the meat. Now that we have a good amount of fluid inside the meat and marinating it, I'm going to drain this dish and put the dry rub on. Let's get this out of the way. Now, some people will tell you can put the dry rub on now. Some will tell you you should wait until you're about to cook it. I'm obviously going to store this in the fridge overnight and take it to the house where we're going to deep fry it. But I'm going to go ahead and dry rub it tonight. Some will tell you that it's better to take it wherever you're going or whatever. Take it out an hour or two of the fridge so that the meat can cool down, or actually warm up to room temperature so that it's not so cold, because when you put the meat in the oil, it drops the temperature of the oil drastically. So let's just get a little bit of this juice out of here. And I may inject it a little bit more tomorrow. I might save some of that. And then we're just going to take our rub. We're going to sprinkle it on and rub it in. This is going to be delicious. Dry rub is probably my favorite. I actually prefer dry rub ribs and then dipping them in a barbecue sauce than